I'm PG, I'm chillin', and this is my review of Ghostface Killah's Supreme Clientele 2. You heard? After more than 2 decades, Ghostface Killah drops a sequel to his highly acclaimed album Supreme Clientele from the year 2000. This release comes under the Mass Appeal label as part of its Legend Has It series. Ghostface has said that in the past, that the first Supreme Clientele captured a particular state of mind and era, something impossible to truly recreate, although possible to revisit, leaving fans to wonder how will the sequel sound, will it have any modernization in the sound? Perhaps include newer artists? How can it even live up to what many consider a classic? So what do we get? 22 new songs and stacked with heavyweight features, including Wu-Tang Comrades, Raekwon, GZA, and Method Man, as long as peers like Nas, Styles P, and M.O.P. We even hear a cameo from Dave Chappelle as well on a couple skits. Let's just say that this album is equal parts throwback and proof of Ghostface's present-day relevance. Rather than a true cinematic, conceptual, woven narrative, this album plays out like a collage, jagged, eclectic, and occasionally smacking you with quick songs. A little 1-2 punch. Once Redman kicks it off with a Showtime style of introduction, we proceed to hear a commanding opener in Iron Man, the soulful yet slapping Sample 420 with M.O.P., and the gritty sounding Curtis May, which features Conway the Machine, who I believe is the newest artist on here. He delivers a few storytelling gems, like on the song The Trial, where him and all the features act as members of the courtroom. On the song Windows, where he describes the violence and chaos going on in the streets, almost coming off as a Wild Wild West trip down memory lane, or should I say east. Or on Love Me Anymore with Nas, where they talk about foul people in the streets, backstabbing, and lack of loyalty. The lead single, Rap Kingpin, sees Ghost saluting his roots, literally sampling his classic song, Mighty Healthy, off of the first Supreme Clientele. Now there is no denying that Ghost can still rap his ass off, deliver with his classic flow, and command on any boom-bap New York style of production that emulates from the 90s. And I will say most, if not all of this album sounds like it could have been in the 90s or even 2000, and not just a modern-day producer trying to recreate that. I mean, hell, break beats and beatbox are 2 tracks on here that you could mistake for the 80s. But I do wish that there was more to offer than that in terms of production, considering the sound of hip-hop has changed drastically in the last 25 years. I do feel that the album drags on, and that dusted 90s type of production really starts showing its age. The skits, albeit, are trying to be entertaining, they feel a little misplaced. And look, I'm not from New York or Staten Island, so maybe I just don't see the humor of all of it. Although I do agree with the pause skit that, yeah, people are using pause way too much nowadays on social media, literally everywhere else. Hell, it's even been used by, ESPN, perhaps myself. And there are a few songs that cut off before there is an idea behind it, and it just feels like it ends abruptly. Like Break Beats and Fourth Disciple. So Ghost pieced this project together with recordings from the vault, some fresh verses, and new production designed to frame the old material. Which is why it doesn't sound that cohesive and fully polished. But despite all that, Supreme Clientele 2 is proof that Ghostface still can spit and hold the mic with authority. And it doesn't aim to outdo the original, I mean it's a classic, nor does it reinvent him or his sound for this era. It simply is a continuation of that album and reiterates the legend of Tony Stark. And why change what works if this is what himself, his peers, his fans, his clientele fiend for? I mean, you can never have a perfect sequel or follow-up to a classic in any art form, let alone after 20 plus years. But it's still well worth a listen, especially if you grew up listening to hip-hop in the 90s, and it's a valid album in the Wu-Tang Clan lore in 2025. Look, it's not a polished conceptual album, but it captures the vibe from its predecessor, which is still a lot to ask for. But he delivered on that with a few boom-bap and grimy bangers that I'll go back to this year. My favorites... Hold on. Hello?
Hey yo, PG, it's Chuckles, man. I heard you disrespect the Ghost, man. You better raise that score with your corny ass, you heard?
First of all, how'd you get this number? How do you know what I gave it? I literally just scored.
Shut your ass up, man. You talk too much, man. Get your culture vulture ass, you heard?
Mr. Chuckles, I can explain.
You better raise up that score, man, before I catch you outside, you heard?
My favorite songs are Curtis May, Windows, Georgie Porgy, Rap Kingpin, and Love Me Anymore. What are your thoughts on this album? These are my thoughts. Stay blessed. The fuck?